Hi, I'm Mike Levin. This next step is almost going to be like a little sub-project. I'm going to try and make all these comparisons case insensitive, checking whether function names are in globals and whether parameters that you encounter are in row 1. And so I'm going to start out with globals. Instead of checking directly against globals, I'm going to drop out into the shell, and I'm going to execute Python. And you can see some of the experimenting I was actually doing here. I'm going to clear that screen because you don't need to see all that. And I'm going to print globals, see what that really is. Oh yeah, print. I can just type globals. You don't need a print statement, and when you do, you need to use parentheses. So there's a bunch of stuff. It's a dictionary object. You can tell by the curly brackets. You got name value pairs. So name colon name, package none, doc none. So you can kind of tell a lot of stuff about this. Now I'm checking whether function names are in global. So I'm going to def a function called foo and just make it return. It's essentially an empty function, but it's now in globals. If I print globals, you will see foo in there somewhere, I believe. There it is, foo, function at. And the fact that you can see it's a function, that means you can even test whether things are a function. But almost everything built in, you can tell, has these underscores in front of it. It's really an exception when you get build-ins that don't begin and end in underscores. So I'm actually going to try and lowercase foo and have a list that just has foo. So it goes something like this. Instead of just printing globals, we can print globals dot keys. Okay, let's try printing globals. Oh, dot keys, maybe without the open close parenthesis. Ah, no, I mean, I need the open close parentheses. Yeah, there you go. Now you've got a, I guess that's a tuple, dict keys, okay. Oh, it's a set, I believe. Now we can lowercase everything in there. Well, we can just pick off the things that are that don't have an underscore. Oh, guess what? It's time to learn the concept of list comprehension. So, what is list comprehension? Well, you put a square bracket around this, and you get the same thing back, but now you can put logic in there. You can put an arbitrary variable name, x dot lower, the thing you're going to do to the variable name when you encounter it, for x in, and now everything's going to come back lower. Now notice the foo is now lowercase. Now we're going to say if, we're going to add an if. If x, and we're going to use slice notation, we want the first two characters. So that's, let's see, colon is an exact copy of it, and we want just the first two characters. Oh no, we want from the beginning to two characters in, not equal to double underscores. There it is, yay! Okay, so that is a successful example to create a list of all your function names in lowercase. So I actually am going to copy this, some valuable stuff right there, and I'm going to exit out, and I'm going to exit again, which will drop us into Vim, because remember I did call an sh to get here. Now I'm going to look for a place where after everything has been encountered, yeah, okay, the top of main is the place to do it. Def main. Now we can create a global object, globs dot, oh, we already have globs dot funcs. That's actually, oh no, there's two different concepts of function names. There's the ones that come from row 1, which we already have, and now this is global functions, gfuncs, gfuncs, funcs, gfuncs. Equals the thing I just created. And before I save, I'm going to escape, tab E, globs.py, gfuncs equals open close square bracket, so it's an empty list. Save and quit. Okay, now I can save this, and all that work essentially does nothing, but we now have a global object with a lowercase copy of all the function names. I said this was a sub-project. Running on a Raspberry Pi. Oh, it's going out on the internet to look for stuff. Hey, that was a problem hitting the spreadsheet. Well, let's see where it fails and just put a try and capture that thing in return. Usually the last thing in the trace is where we need to worry about. Nope. In this case, it's going to be due sheet, line 26, due sheet. Try. Accept. Return. Print. Couldn't reach Google Docs. Let's try one more time. I'm pretty sure that was just a hiccup. We'll get what we expect now, but that's part of the price of the cloud. Voila! Everything is as expected. Now we can replace our check against globals against globs.gfuncs. So globals, here's one use in globals. It now should be checking against globs.gfuncs. And there's going to be another one nearby. globs.gfuncs. Now the output might actually disappear here because we're checking against something that might have a different case than it did before. So we might get empty output here for a second, and then, okay, empty output. We've got to do the symmetrical change as we build the function names out of row 1, which occurs Let's see, that's going to be that row 1 thing. Okay, row 1 funcs. Whoops, I'm in search mode. That's hard to look at there. Okay, so here's row 1 funcs. And we come out of it, there's globs.fargs, which has indexing as the function name, so the caldex. So we don't really have to worry about it there. It's only in the other global guy, which was not fargs, globs.fargs, it's globs.funcs. So we'll just search on that. And do redo. Okay. Globs dot funcs equals a row. Well, it shouldn't so much equal a row as another one of these list comprehensions. Now, there's more understandable ways to do this, but they're not quite as efficient and elegant. So wherever you might break out into a for each member of a list kind of multi-line statement, you can just use a one-line thing. Again, arbitrary function name equals x dot lower for x in a row. List comprehensions. That has lowercase glob.funcs. Now it gets fed immediately into row 1 funcs. So this is do row. If do row, yeah. So we don't want to feed it that. We want to feed it globs.funcs, because that is now the row, all lowercased. And if the world is good, we get our output back. Dun, dun, dun. Name error. Func1 is not defined. Exactly the kind of error I would expect, because now we're looking for functions inside. Okay, so let's see where that actually occurs. Line 34 in do sheet, 43 in do row, 69. We want the last one, 69 in row 1 funcs. That's a logical place for this to complain. Yeah. So we're using those function names, and maybe we can't lowercase it going into here. That's probably the case. Now, the question is, can we mix this lowercasing kind of approach with actually needing the exact function names where things are not case insensitive? So we've got key error 2 in line 52 now. Yeah, it's where fargs starts to get built, because function names are being gotten by feeding caldex into globs funcs, which at this point is all lowercase. So you get a function name out, but then why is it complaining on line 52? There's a key index. Couldn't find it, and it put something in there. Well, I think we got to print some stuff here. I decided to do something at the top of main. Let's print globs.gfuncs and see if I have what I think we have. We'll just hit return there so it won't encounter anything else and generate those errors. Interesting. Yes, that actually is what I want. It's lowercase versions of every function in the system. Now the other thing we just changed is globs funcs. Print globs.funcs and return, again, to avoid those errors. param1, param2, func1, func2, and errors. So I'm returning from a do row, which is part of an iteration, which is why I could continue. But it does in fact confirm that I've got lowercase of all the function names and parameter names discovered from row 1, and the key error continues on line 56 in eval func, which is exactly where it occurred before. And it's a key error. That means that plugging calldex in on globs.farg. So the next thing I want to do is I'll edit out these guys because I know this is correct. And we want to display where the error is being generated, which is right where my cursor was. Print fargs, no, print globs.fargs, return. Fargs is empty, can't plug key on everything. So fargs is not being built in the first place now with this new lowercasing stuff going on. So I need to figure out where fargs is being built originally. Globs.fargs. It's going to be something being set equal to globs. No, it's going to be globs.fargs equals something. Yep. After you get to the bottom of here, we're building a fargs object. Fargs is originally empty. Yeah. Got to convert stuff to lowercase here too. Let's print globs.fargs here. Let's print fargs above it. And now I'm going to go back in my edit history to take out that last print. G semicolon is doing that, by the way. G comma, I believe, moves forward through edit history, but this is what we want. Yeah, there's that one empty guy there. That should not be empty. Let's figure out why it's empty. Ah, if fname in globs.gfunc, so lower. Maybe this video is salvageable after all. Yay! It was a long way to go, but it's very important for me now to get rid of the case sensitivity. There will be an issue. I can't actually execute these statements it's building because they're all lowercase, so it's possible that this lowercasing approach is just not feasible. I would have to make conventions in the system that params have to be lowercase when they're defined. The place you can't control these things is what people do in the spreadsheet. It's going to be upper or lowercase in the spreadsheet, but at least in the functions where people write it, you can make the small convention. Parameters to functions need to be lowercase, and then I would need just a simple dictionary to get the case sensitivity back. And it's probably a really big win to have the case insensitivity. So I'm going to cut it here. There's a long way to go for such a small step, but this is the nuanced stuff that makes the richness of this project. Thanks for joining me, and subscribe.